both got, it sounds like a lot of skills, between you and Tom. So just name a few of them that bring, these skills that you're bringing to your business, because, sometimes, you can start with a business without having any knowledge about running a business, but it sounds like the two of you have got a, big and small experience.
Yeah, we do. I think our experience helps us a lot because we have worked for a variety of places and companies, functions, et cetera. Mm-hmm. I also think there's some, personal characteristics that are helpful. And, we're both curious. We're interested. What else is going on out there?
Right.
We're always looking over the hill, what's coming next. So I think that's important. Being flexible, because you never really know how things are going to go. Mm-hmm. You have to be prepared to make the best of whatever comes your way. Mm-hmm. I think those are helpful skills, life skills, whatever to have with this. So I think that's probably it. Willing to be open to try something new, I think is important as well. So I think all of those things really help us be able to do this as well as we're doing now.
Yeah. Well, I think, one of them is, as you say, it's flexibility, being able to change, priorities, move around, having to do things. It's not always, cut and dried as many people hope it to be. So I think it's just, if you're flexible and you enjoy learning and find things challenging, I think it's a great one to be in. But if you're very structured, sometimes it could be, difficult to see exactly how it all flows.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. You definitely have to be prepared to change because the nature of digital marketing has changed.
Yeah.
Just as you mentioned, it's not the way it was 10 years ago or 5 years ago or maybe even 2 years ago.
That's right.
So that is going to be a constant change.
So you early on in your days, you're not even finished your first year. So what do you think, have you got any goals? Because I know in corporate America, you probably got 3-month challenges or every quarterly challenges. What have you set yourself for the next 12 months? And maybe 5 years is too far to look out, but, what are you thinking, in that line?
Yeah, well, we're still trying to figure out where, if we're going to focus on a niche.
Okay.
That's something that we've been advised by different folks to sort of focus on one niche, whether it's a vertical industry or if it's a type of service, to try to find a niche. So we're still thinking about that, but I think it's too early for us to really nail that down at the moment. So that's, the next year we're pretty much looking at that, obviously continuing learning, getting more up to speed than we are now, because there's still a lot more to learn this year. And I think in terms of 5 years out, we're probably looking to be empty nesters with a thriving digital marketing business. And as you mentioned, we're able to travel because we don't necessarily have to be in one particular location at any given time because we're able to do all of this online, which I think is fantastic. And I think that's something that is sort of a positive thing that has come out of, some negative that we've had over the last year and a half. I think that people realize there's a little bit more freedom here and there is that ability to travel and do things online.
Right. And I think even, in this pandemic stage that we're in, that's when you started your business, right? I mean, you're starting a business when many people are suffering, right? It's like you don't know what's happening next. So it's quite amazing that you take that leap of faith, that you choose something like this, and you can get started. It's incredible how you can actually get started. You probably you haven't even met the people at home office physically. Yeah, at least I flew over there and saw them, and you've just gone into something where you've met nobody physically, and you have a business already running, which is quite something. A few of the people I've spoken to in the last year have started. I've thought about it. I thought, what would I have done? When I started, I was like, so nervous about everything, and if the world was looking like it was, I guess you got to take a leap of faith somewhere. And the fact that you can actually look ahead, I think, is something, because sometimes people are just looking for now, how to get through what they have to. So I wish you, great 5 years ahead, traveling wherever we can. We don't have to be under lockdown rules anymore, so things can change.
Yeah, no, it's been fantastic. And meeting people online, it is a completely different paradigm, but it works.
Yeah.
And it's something that I'm actually looking forward to the day when I can meet some of my clients in person and actually talk to them, in the same location instead of just online. But it's been fabulous. It's actually worked out really well.
Yeah, that's so good. And you've been around for a while, and a couple of 6 months. If somebody else came to you and said, "Well, you've been in here 6 months. What are the things I should know about that maybe you didn't know when you started?" Just sort of the things that. What advice would you give a new consultant starting in this franchise network?
I think that for us, we asked the same question of a lot of the ICs that we spoke with, and that's something I would recommend to anyone considering is to speak with as many people as possible.
Yeah.
And we spoke with people that had been there for 6 months, that had been 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 15 years, 20 years. So we really ran the gamut, and it's really interesting to talk to people from different tenures because they'll tell you different things based on their experience. So I think you need to speak with as many people as possible. Get clear about your goals and what you really want to do. And that's something, envision what the business might be like on a day-to-day basis. Is it something you're really going to want to do every day? And, you may not like every single aspect of the business, but that's typical. There's no job that you love everything about it. There's always some things that you have to do. Maybe you don't like to do billing or accounting. But I think that talking to as many people as possible is the best advice. And also, again, go back to being flexible, because it may not be exactly what you think it's going to be, but the confidence I think that Tom and I have is, even if something comes up, if there's a problem, there's an issue, there's a question, we can talk about it. Right. And I feel like, we're being met halfway. Someone will come to us and we'll talk about it. We'll figure it out, whatever the issue is or whatever the problem is. There's not anything that's not insurmountable. And so that's the other thing is I have that confidence that, you'll be treated fairly and, honestly, and things are as they seem.
Yeah. I think being confident in this game is a big thing, because you're actually trying to make a change or an improvement to someone else's business most of the time, and they're looking to you for that. And if you don't have that confidence, or just feeling like you can do it with what you've got, it can be. People see through that, right? If you're not confident, you pretty much don't get a response from your proposals. But being confident is a game changer, I think.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes a difference. And feeling like somebody has your back as well, especially in these early days when, we're not 100% sure of some of the things that we're doing. So we need that advice and that backup from the network, from home office, from whoever it is that we're working with.
Excellent. Great. So we're nearing the end of the interview, and I'm really, been so happy listening to your story. I always look at, ask people what their personal motto would be that they would follow. And, I asked that same question to everyone. And then someone said to me, "Francois, what is your personal motto?" And then I was thinking at that time, it was like not accepting second best. I always felt that, but I think that's the Virgo in me, wanting to make things perfect. But if you're doing something and it's not right, rather just fix it and do it again. That's pretty much the way I work, because otherwise you don't strive to doing something, really well. So what would be your motto that you would follow?
Well, it's probably similar. If it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. I mean, that tends to be how I approach things. I don't like to do things wrong. And that is a bit of a challenge. That's something I've had to work through these first few months of the business, because learning, the WSI process, learning, how things are going, learning through the training and the training process. And that has definitely been a personal challenge for me,
Right.
is to understand that I'm not going to be perfect day one,
Yeah.
and that I'm going to get there at some point. But yeah, so that's been a challenge for me.
Good. Well, doing things right, that's always, it's worth doing. As you said, it's going to do well. And typically, if you went to a happy hour, what would you order? Because normally when I do that, I like some Jack Daniels. I got like a Jack Daniels bar at home, and it's got just about every. I even went to Jack Daniels Tennessee just to go and visit the place because I branded my whole bar at my house. And but I don't really drink a lot of it. I just drink a glass of wine. So if I go to a cocktail, it's something boring like that. So just to get to know you a little bit, what would you order? You and Tom maybe.
It'd probably depend on where we were.
Right.
Because I like to try new things. So I might try something local, whatever is best in the local area. I tend to do that. And Tom would be similar. He likes to try new things as well. I've had some craft cocktails that I like with Prosecco in them, and but yet I would still have like a whiskey neat if I were in Scotland, for example. So it just kind of depends on where I was.
Yeah, I think you're right. I remember now you say Prosecco when Mariana and I were in Italy, what we were doing is Aperol and Prosecco.
Yes.
That orange drink, I can't remember the name of it, but we do make it every now and again. So it is always good to try, something wherever you're traveling, which is great.
I think that's the Aperol Spritz. We discovered it when we were in Italy as well. It was very good.
Very good. Okay. And so, I really appreciate your time. We've spent like 30 minutes here already. And if you could be anywhere else other than talking to me here today, where would you be spending that time?
I would probably be walking the dogs on the beach with my family.
Okay.
That's my happy place.
Great. And you're not close to the beach now where you are in Atlanta. It's still, yeah.
No, I'm a little too far inland.
You're a bit far inland, yeah. Yeah, I was quite lucky. I was walking on the beach about an hour ago, which was.
Good for you. I'm jealous.
I'm at my holiday home. I've been here for 3 months now, and our grandchildren flew down, or I went to fetch them from Johannesburg. So they were cooped up here because we were doing a few meetings this morning, and I said, okay, let's go to the beach. It looks nice, and so it's always good to be able to do that. I think, sometimes just being bare feet in the middle of the day and getting some water on you feels good.
Oh, sure. Yeah. That's lovely.
Well, Daphne, thanks so much for spending your time with me. I really enjoyed, talking to you in this interview, and I'm sure, other viewers who watch it will get a, good idea and a good feel for how you and Tom felt about this business going forward.
Oh, I certainly hope so. And thank you so much, Francois. I really appreciate your inviting us to participate in this.
Excellent. Okay, well, I hope to see you soon, virtually for sure. I think if you are, you're still in your first 12 months, so I might be doing some training for you with Neil Lappy, because if you're running with Neil Lappy's program, he invites me a couple of times, so I know I'm on Friday. But obviously, once our conferences open up again, I certainly hope to see us all in real life, because that's the best part about, I think, the WSI network is just meeting how many people you come across in one place, and you realize how big it really is.
Yeah, no, we're really looking forward to that.
Okay. Thanks very much, and then say hi to Tom as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Francois. I will. It was good to meet you.
Okay, bye.